Hey everybody, we're live on AM 670 KMZQ at 4:58. We start the show in 2 minutes. What a great lineup we have today. Paula Roth. We have Tony Pereira, Mr. Neil Portnoy, Tom Hillary, of course our good friend Brian Knopfel, our official photographer. On the phone, Estefano, DiSanto, and the Joe and Heidi Marino from Vegas Mob Weddings. So that's our show for today. We're getting ready to go on the air. Thank you all for watching. And stand by. By the way, we hit the button early, so you see a lot of junk about before we got started. That was cleaning up my mess. So ignore that first video that you see on Facebook. It's just me screwing up.
They don't work. 8,000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold
I don't have you live yet.
my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service.
Okay, we are now live.
Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
There's no views yet, Neil.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor for investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
Live from the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa Studio from the world-famous Las Vegas Strip, AM 670 KMZQ, Las Vegas. Locally owned and operated by Tim Broadcasting and Digital Outdoor.
Las Vegas rocks all around the clock. Las Vegas rocks, 'cause this town never stops. Las Vegas rocks all around the clock, 'cause this town never stops. Las Vegas rocks.
It's the Las Vegas Rocks Radio Show, the show before the show. Join us for a fast-paced hour of celebrity interviews and entertainment news. And now, here's Ron.
Well, Las Vegas rocks.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Las Vegas Rocks Radio Show, and I'm your host, Mr. Ron Garrett. Join me and the renowned celebrity artist at Portnoy Gallery, our co-host, Mr. Neil Portnoy. Hello, Neil.
Can I be Mr. Neil? I mean, you're now Mr. Ron Garrett?
When did that happen?
That was new. First time I've heard you say that.
No, I'm not Mr. Ron Garrett. Did I say it about myself?
You did.
I
You
did.
Yeah, first time.
Yeah.
I'll keep you tabs on you.
You know, my nickname is not Ron. That's my nickname.
Not Ron.
And the winner is not Ron.
Ron.
That's
There you
usually the
go.
way it works
Yeah.
out. It does. Join me and also our other celebrity co-host over there, Mr. Fortune 500 and the Marquis. Is it, Tom?
Yeah,
Marquis 100?
Well, no, the Marquis Who's Who put me in the
Okay.
Fortune 500 magazine.
Oh, so the Marquis Who's Who put you...
The
Okay.
Fortune 500 on the rant. That sounds
and
good.
next you're going to get a star in the Las Vegas Strip. You keep getting those kind of awards. right?
Might as well, yeah.
Might as well throw that in anyway. So, also joining us on the show is a very lovely lady, Miss Paula Roth. Hello, Paula.
Hi.
Let me say a little something about you, okay?
Okay.
Paula Roth is a former writer and producer at Warner Brothers Entertainment, also at Paramount Pictures. And I have a lot to talk about with some of the shows that you've been involved with. It's fantastic. Also with Paula sitting next to her is a chef, a guitarist, and the man about town, Mr. Tony Pereira.
Hi, Ron.
Hello, Tony. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for coming. I'm going to talk about my favorite recipe out of a jar sauce to talk about.
But jar sauce.
Out of jar
I
sauce.
can't wait.
I'm going to use jar sauce to make my mob sauce, I call it, which is as greasy as from scratch.
And garlicky, right?
Totally garlicky. It has to be garlicky. Okay. Also, with Tony and the rest of us in the room is our studio producer, Mr. Mark Thomas, and of course our official photographer, Brian Knopfel. On the phone will be the elite entertainer now, Mr. Estefano DiSanto. He's on the phone. And from the mob headquarters, the capos, Joe and Heidi Marino of Vegas Mob Weddings. So before we start the conversation, let's do our disclaimer and shout-outs. All the music we're about to play is fully licensed by ASCAP, EMI, and CSAC, and whoever else licenses music. It's all copyrighted. Don't cut the show off because somebody is complaining about a copyright. This is an AM radio station fully licensed, and everything we play is cleared to play. So that's a very good thing. Okay, and now our shout-outs, okay, Neil?
Here we go.
You want to start first up?
No,
Mike?
Richie V, that's all I remember.
I didn't get there yet.
Oh. We're
First
not
of
doing
all-
the Florida shout-outs yet?
Yeah, we will, but it's down the list a little.
Oh, shout out to my wife Dorothy, as I always do, because she runs Portnoy Gallery.
Do you have a second person you want to shout out to? Anybody else you like besides Dorothy?
No.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that. That sounds good. I'll tell you who I like and love is my girl Tammy. My honey, she's listening as she always does. Thank you, sweetheart, for tuning in. I want to wish happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there because that's coming up in less than a week. I want to say hello to Danny Falcone from last week. Danny drew 800 views so far.
I missed a good show.
You missed a good show. 1.7K impressions at this point. Wow. Almost 2,000 people got a shot at the show and see Danny. Paul X Campanella, he was on. You know Paul?
I know Paul.
He's a great player. He's kind of a quiet guy.
Yeah.
But he's an actor. He's a coach. He's a lot of things.
A
And
good
does he
guy.
ever play with you?
No, I've not played with him. No, I've actually backed him though once.
Did you? He's a good guy.
He's
He
a
was.
member of the Bald tribe. I like that guy.
That's the same tribe you belong
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
other than
well,
the
yeah.
Jewish tribe that you
Well,
belong.
yeah.
You know,
My name doesn't end in a vowel, so I'm not Italian.
too bad.
I know.
You know, that's too bad. Tony's name ends in a vowel. You
My
know,
wife's Italian. That counts.
Well, that counts. You know, so therefore you're okay with that.
All right.
Let's say hello to Stevie Dunham, CEO of Street Corner Records. Hello, Stevie.
Hello,
We have
Steve.
some doo-wop music. What? Who said hello back there? We have some doo-wop music to play. Stevie, of course, is the don of doo-wop music. He's got a huge vinyl record collection. Probably the biggest in the world, he says.
It is the biggest in the world.
That's amazing. And new some doo-wop tonight. We're going to have a new show coming up soon about
sweet.
doo-wop. Hello, Stevie. He's out there with his record label, and recently he introduced a new CD by Little Anthony and another one by Estefano. So he's real busy with his Street Corner record label. Also, let's say hello to Trish Cordani. Trish is producing shows at the Italian American Club. The new one coming up, Coasters, Drifters, Platters in December. Temptations at the IAC, I believe it's tomorrow. Or was it last week?
No.
Was it last week? Did I miss it?
No, I don't think it's come up yet.
Well, she's got a Temptation show coming. And she's with Coast to Coast Entertainment. Janet Conway in New Jersey. Hey, Janet. How you doing? Gene Ferrari down in Florida. We want to see Gene back in Vegas soon. We like to say hello to Meyer Lansky. Always Meyer Lansky II. He's officiating sometimes at the Vegas mob weddings as an official gangster.
Dorothy had the privilege of touring the Mob Museum with Meyer Lansky. How cool is that?
He
Meyer
knows
was
the
going
story.
around, you know, this lamp used to be in my grandfather's living room. I mean, unbelievable.
He's something else. Mark O'Toole, he'll be on next week on the 26th. Hello, Mark. Good to talk to you and have you on next week. He'll be here. Cliff Lawrence, our joke writer. You got some new Cliff jokes there, Neil?
He wrote me some, but some aren't made for primetime radio.
Can't be on primetime radio.
Yeah, not made for primetime radio.
My two Reno buddies, Jerry Walker and Marty Carmel, they're up there in Reno. They watch and listen every single
And the
week.
Marty party has moved indoors.
The Marty party is now at his condo, which is overlooking the Truckee River in Reno.
Which is frozen now, right?
No, it flows too much.
Oh, okay.
It comes out of the Lake Tahoe and flows into Reno and ends up in Pyramid Lake someplace. That freezes over, Pyramid Lake. Reno gets cold. I lived there for 9 years when I was running a television station and an advertising agency. Hello to Barbara Brighton. We love saying hello to Barbara.
Barbara was on stage last night, I guess, at the Bootlegger
She
with
was.
Joey Malati.
She was. How'd she do?
Typical Barbara. She was good.
She's good. Yeah, Barbara does a nice job. I want to say hello to Kelly Vaughn. Kelly will be singing at Palm Mortuary. No, it's not a
No.
funeral. It's a service.
Really?
It's not a funeral.
Really?
At Palm Mortuary on December the 5th.
And she got nominated for the 40 under 40 national competition. I guess voting ended yesterday.
Of 40 under 40 best
I don't
singers,
know.
or
Best looking, best singing. I
she's
don't know,
got
best
it all.
performance. I don't know.
She's got it all. Palm Mortuary in Henderson on Boulder Highway has a service honoring the Christmas service, just honoring everybody.
That's nice.
And she has agreed to be there and to sing. So we got to regate.
I'm going to be composted, you know. It's a new technique they're doing in California, you know.
Composted.
Yeah. Because,
You're going to be a pile. You're going to be a pile of dung. Is that?
No,
yeah,
I read about that.
Yeah, it's a new thing, and I want to be spread around a tree so I can continue to grow.
I think that'll work. You might grow your hair back too while
Well,
you're
you
at it.
never know.
So rub some on your head.
I'm all in.
I know. Bob and Paul, my neighbors, they're great guys. They watch over everything and always put away my trash cans. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Paul. They did it again this morning.
Nice.
They get out there and do it. I'm half asleep, so I'm out at 3:30 in the morning walking the dog. You know, and the garbage people haven't come yet, so I have to wait. So we want to say hello to them, Bob and Paul. Johnny Scaglione, he's got an act coming on the show real soon. I'm going to surprise you with it in just a few minutes. I'll be talking about it. And the Florida Cousins.
Here we go.
And
Richie V.
Richie V, Frank, Diane, Michelle, Susie.
And on the East Coast?
Those are the West Coast Florida Cousins.
And the East Coast?
In Clearwater, but also Long Island and Arkansas.
Yeah, in a couple of years, they're moving to Florida, too.
They're all going to go to Florida. On the East Coast, my cousins Bud Caputo and Lou Rosano.
You know, they're changing the state flag in Florida.
To what?
And Paula will understand this. An alpaca looking over a wheel like this.
Oh, this is radio, Neil. It's tough to
Oh,
a wheel
no,
like this.
I'm doing that for our Facebook
Yeah, I know.
watchers.
A wheel like this.
Yeah, with your hands up.
With your hands up, you got to describe it.
All right, my bad.
You have to say kill.
Let's say hello to the Go Live Vegas app, Aaron and Raquel Eligas, who carry this show internationally.
Yep.
We love that. It's fantastic. Live music venues that keep everybody working. We appreciate those. All the Italian restaurants, the spaghetti circuit that we call it, actually. That was coined by Patrick Barney. He came up with that one, the spaghetti circuit. PJ of Giammaria, my pal who's traveling the country in his RV. How you doing, PJ? Tom Letitia, my famous ad man friend who is won 6 out of 10 races.
Yeah, you get everybody elected.
Yeah, he did. He got Wolfson elected. He got that one, and he got a couple of judges in there, and he did a good job. He had a great year. And also hello to Joe Chavera. Oh, never mind that. I want to have a special shout out right now for a young lady that Tammy has been, my honey, has been friends with for years and years and years. And they recently connected on the phone, and Tammy's actually going to go visit her shortly.
Where she live?
She lives in Dallas. Her name is Melanie Knudsen.
Hi, Melanie.
Let's all say hello to Melanie Knudsen.
Hello,
Melanie.
Hey, Melanie. Hey, Melanie. Don't forget to pick up Tammy at the airport. You know, unless she needs Uber, then call Barbara Brighton. Barbara knows whether you.
Barbara knows every Uber driver in the city.
All over every city that's out there. So hello, Melanie. Thanks for being a new listener this evening, and we appreciate you out there. And I'm looking forward to the stories when Tammy gets back. Hello to the Bronx Wanderers. Went to their closing show. How am I doing on time, Mark?
You're about ready.
I'm about ready. Okay, I'll get through this. Not too fast though. Here's the money part of the show, right?
That's right.
The Bronx Wanderers, they had their last show last Monday night. Kind of sad.
Well, sad, but they've got a new residency coming up. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I want to know what a residency is, though. We can get back to that in just a minute.
Yeah, okay.
So, the Bronx Wanderers will be back on New Year's Eve at the South Point, and then several dates going into the spring.
3 performances per month for a period of time at South Point.
At South Point.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, and now we can't wait to see that. We're glad that we got something. We're taking December off anyway. And they need a big, long rest. Right, Paula, don't you think?
I think they do.
They do.
They work very, very
Very,
hard.
very hard.
Well, in between, Vinny's going to continue to take guitar lessons from our guests.
He's got to take them from Tony.
Yeah,
Tony teaches
Tony.
Vinny guitar. Vinny's done a great job. Little Vinny, or what's his name? Vincent John.
Vincent John.
He's done a great job learning the guitar, because when I saw him 6 years ago, he wasn't that good.
I gave him some lessons.
And now he's very good. So a
Much
big
better.
change. Congratulations on that, Tony. Also to the Menopause Day musical. A great show, 16 years running in Vegas. Tickets start at $54. See them 7 days a week actually, at 8 o'clock, and 2 shows in the afternoon, Saturday at 4 and Tuesdays at 4. The Coaster Drifters Platters coming to the IAC, produced by Trish Cornani. And that's a great show, done with Derek David
Yeah.
and a bunch of other stars, and yours truly as the announcer. So
Oh, you're doing another
I
gig?
get a chance to sound like this. And let's say, hey, everybody, you know, not that we put it on.
No.
I used to go work at KHJ in Los Angeles, and I had some famous disc jockeys around me, the real Don Steele and guys like that, if you're from L.A. Anyway, we all got in the elevator. I was a part-time guy, and we talked like this when we got in the elevator. The radio station was on the 9th floor. By the time we got to the 9th floor, we're all talking like this. Hey, everybody, how you doing? We started out up the elevator. It's just amazing how that happened.
You start your day by going, "Hello, Terry." I mean, is that the way you start every day?
No.
Oh.
No, I started my morning by saying, "Are those dogs barking again? I'll take them out."
4:30 in the morning.
That's my at 3:30. Try 3:30.
Oh, forget it.
You know. Anyway, kosher gifted platters and also the Vegas Mob weddings. We want to throw a shout out to them, and they'll be calling in soon. So right now we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna go to break with something that Paula will recognize. Here's the theme from LaVerne and Shirley.
Yeah.
Back now, on the track now, make our dreams come true. If our way. You're still live on Facebook or not radio?
I don't understand. If you never heard the word impossible, how do you know it? See, this never made sense to me. That's a word I never heard.
You never heard the word, how would you know to say it, right?
Bingo.
Okay. Did you write that?
I know, but Camille Shamazo was from my childhood.
Camille Shamazo? Yeah, that's real.
That's real. No, it's real.
It's real. Wow. You gotta live in Milwaukee?
No, you have to live in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
Who's saying that?
We did it when we walked down the street. We were filming the main titles, and Gary said to Penny, "We need something to teach Cindy from Shamazo." We would walk down the street arm in arm, and that's what we would sing. Just those words.
Just dropping before Vito.
Great stories.
That's it.
I got a million of them. So is the show over? Because that went on for a minute.
30 seconds. No, 1 minute. 1 minute. Your microphone working the other end?
No, I'm not touching it.
We're good. Who's calling
Very,
first?
very, very temperamental.
Who is?
My microphone, it goes in, out.
There's a reason for that.
Well, yeah.
You want to hear too much.
Want me to tee it up a little higher next time for you?
Spread the word. For de-escalation to work, both
Just the most
parties
you've
must
gone without swearing?
de-escalate.
Pardon?
Just the most you've gone without swearing?
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Don't attack or try to disarm an officer.
I'll do
20
it.
seconds.
I can be fine.
Question, getting a citation, or getting arrested. Don't argue. Don't resist. Don't flee. After the encounter has been resolved, it's time to address any complaints. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. To learn more about how to help law enforcement accomplish its goals, visit nationalpolice.org.
And we're back on the Las Vegas Rocks Radio Show. I'm your host, Ron Garrett, AM 670 KMZQ. And with us this evening, Paula Roth and Tony Pereira and Mr. Neil Portnoy, Tom Hillary, and the rest of the studio staff, along with me, Paula Roth. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Before we start, let me give everybody a little rundown on just exactly, everybody's saying, who the hell is Paula Roth, right? They don't know how popular and famous you really are. First of all, you just got back from Miami, is that right?
I did.
You have a good time?
It's okay.
It's okay, huh? I can't wait to hear that. Let me finish who you are so people understand. You studied at Hunter College. I got that. I found it. You just had a birthday in October the 16th. Happy birthday, Paula.
Thank you.
But the big story, of course, is a long, long history of terrific success in the sitcom business right here in Las Vegas. Not in Las Vegas, but in Hollywood. You're the writer and producer at Warner Brothers Paramount. Warner Brothers and Paramount. Warner Brothers Entertainment, Paramount Pictures. You've worked on shows, you've written and produced and worked on these following shows, and this is some list. Perfect Strangers, Happy Days, LaVerne and Shirley, I'm a Big Girl Now, story editor and writer for LaVerne and Shirley, 13 episodes from 1976 to 1982. In 1977, you were with The Love Boat, which is a great, great show. We all love that. Good Time Girls. Joni Loves Chachi, one of my favorites, by the way. We all loved Joni. We didn't care much for Chachi in those days. Who was Scott Dale, by the way? 16 episodes at Perfect Strangers. You took a break then, right after that. And then you went to Germany and did a German sitcom. And I'll try this one. Mein Leben in Eich.
Mein Leben und ich.
Mein Leben und ich. Try that. Did you speak German? Try that.
I have trouble with English. You want me to try German now?
Yeah.
Say it again, Paula.
Let Paula say.
Mein Leben und ich.
Mein Leben und ich.
You also played, that's called My So-Called Life, and I remember when it was called that in the United States. They did a series.
It was called Me and My Life.
Me and My Life. Okay, well, change your bio. It says My So-Called Life.
Well, my bio is wrong.
It's wrong. Did you write it?
No.
Oh, probably not, right? You played Langstrom in the movie Blazin'.
No, I
in
didn't.
2001.
No.
Nope.
Not me.
Okay.
There's another Paula Roth.
Who played that?
I guess
Is she any good?
Beats me.
I don't know. Did she produce any of these shows?
Never.
So, okay. So they got kind of mixed up in there. And you go to Europe? Did I take a trip to Europe recently?
I take a trip to Europe a lot.
A lot. Great. Good.
I have to stay one step ahead of my creditors, so I leave home frequently.
You leave. But you have a terrific resume. Now let's find out more. Okay?
What do you want to know?
I want to know that. What's it like in Hollywood behind the scenes? Everybody asks the same question, right?
It's tremendous.
Who did you like? Who didn't you like? Who was a great guy? Who was a pain in the ass? Who was a wonderful person? Some real good dirt.
Okay.
Go.
Why not? I'll
Why not?
I liked just about everybody. I loved a few people, and I hated one.
You want to tell us who that was?
It was an actor.
Yeah.
He was on a show which I ran.
Yeah.
The last show I ran. He was one of the 2 stars of that show. The other one was Mark Lynn Baker. Maybe you get who it is now.
Bronson Pinchot.
Bronson Pinchot. Okay.
Bronson and I didn't get along well. Bronson didn't respect me to the degree that I felt he should respect me. And karma's a bitch.
Karma is a bitch.
What's Bronson doing today?
I have no idea.
And here I am on Las
Here
Vegas.
you are on the Las Vegas Rocks Radio Show.
So there you go.
Talk about Henry Winkler.
Love Henry. Nicest man in show.
Of course, from Happy Days, Henry was the Fonz.
He has a wonderful reputation, and it is well deserved. I'll tell you one Henry Winkler story. When the show began, now Henry is a very marvelously trained actor. I think he went to Juilliard. I'm not sure. So it's early on in the show, and he's getting a tremendous amount of adoration. People just adored Fonzie. And one day he's on the lot, and these 2 little kids run up to them, maybe 6, maybe 7 years old. And in their little high-pitched voices, they looked up at him. Now, he's short, but they were little. And they looked up and said, Fonzie, Fonzie. And he looked down at them and said, Fonzie is a fictional character. I'm Henry Winkler. And they looked up at him and went, Fonzie, Fonzie. But just the sweetest, kindest, nicest person you'd ever want to work with in a million years.
What about Richie Cunningham, Howard?
He was gone.
Ronnie Howard.
Ron was gone when I went back to Happy Days. He had to be replaced. I think we had 6 or 7 characters on the show because he left such a huge hole in the show.
Void.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
And so we had Ted McGinley, who was very
Handsome
so
Ted.
handsome. Oh my God.
Still.
Yes.
Even
and
now.
Also a very nice
40 years
guy.
later. Yeah.
Very nice guy.
Paul, the people reach out to, you have such a history with the sitcoms. And sitcoms don't die. There are new ones being written, etc. Do people ever go, I wonder what Paula would do? Let me reach out to her. Or are you away from it now?
Never.
Totally?
Never. Because nobody reads the credits.
No, they don't know who she is, huh?
Wow.
Only our family ever read the credits at the end.
IMBD.
Go by very
What is
quickly.
it? IMBD?
IMDb.
Yeah, they know who you are. I found a lot there.
My name on the credits is Paula A. Roth. I use my middle initial just in an attempt to make my name a little longer on the credits, because otherwise it would go by even more quickly. Nobody cares who writes the show. They think the actors make it up as they go along.
Yeah, right.
They really do.
Just like reality shows, they're written as well, aren't they?
Of course they are.
They're all scripted. Yeah.
But the executives, are they all long gone, that your bosses, so to speak, that your bosses that may still be in the industry?
Oh, yeah. Well, one of my bosses is still in the industry. Lowell Gans, perhaps you've heard of him.
Yep, sure.
Writes with a guy named Babalu Mandel.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we love
May
Babalu
or may not
Mandel.
be his real name, I'm not sure. But,
Is
yeah,
it-
and
how-
Lowell and Babalu just wrote a Broadway show with Billy Crystal, Mr. Saturday Night, which was nominated for a Tony. I was very excited to see the two of them sitting in
great
the
show, Mr.
audience at the
Saturday Night,
Tonys
yeah.
in their ill-fitting tuxedos. It was nice.
Did you go to all those award ceremonies?
I went to the People's Choice Award once. We were nominated for a People's Choice Award. And it's funny about the People's Choice Award, you know in advance if you're going to win. And so we went anyway.
That's so they show up. That's why, right?
Well,
sure.
yeah.
You guarantee
But
that.
we showed up, not our principal actors. This was Perfect Strangers, not Mark Lynn Baker and the other one, but the two actresses did. And we got a nice table. It was in Santa Monica at some place. But we knew that we weren't going to be featured in any way because we would watch the camera as it panned the room, and it would literally stop at the table right before us. Then I went to the Emmys once because that other actor was nominated. And interestingly enough, he lost to a puppet. He was nominated, and Alf won that year.
I'm glad to hear that. We have to take a break right now. We're going to come back and talk with Paula Roth some more, and also we're going to speak with Tony a little bit and find out what he likes to talk about and his favorite recipes. Neil's got a Wham event coming up. But let's take Happy Days into the break right now, and here we go.
Monday, happy days. Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes. My cycle runs.
We'll make this
Ready to race to you.
Right, yeah. With the 40 and bring up one I'm going to play that.
Nothing can hold me when I'm
You're on
home.
it. You guitar in it.
You can't
I
be
found
wrong.
off,
Rockin' and rollin'
YouTube.
all week long. These days are
This is old recording. You and TC if you look. Okay, go with you.
cruise around the town. Show everybody what I found. Rock and roll with all my friends. Loving the music.
Ready?
Guys and gals, by now you know there are non-invasive and
Okay, we're in break.
medical solutions to hair restoration
We're in
without
break.
side effects, right?
I think it's amazing when you listen to the theme songs, how it almost pumps you up for the commercial to end or whatever to get into the story. Is that by design?
We always would play the theme song on stage when we were filming.
Let's call it
for
5:30.
the live audience. So we always play the theme song and we get the audience really revved up.
In a week or less,
Okay.
no linear scarring. All of these services are administered by doctors of hair caring medical professionals.
That would be the mom.
Understanding how
Pete.
devastating
Yeah.
hair loss can
Okay.
be at any
Get him
age.
on hold. I gotta get
Treatments
through
work for
Tony
both
first.
men and women wanting a
Get
natural,
him into
vigor
this and
head of
help my
hair
piece out.
without side effects.
Doctors of Hair. Call now.
The mom, yeah, get my piece out for the mom. Leave it on, Kate. They're gonna always.
That's 702-751-0086 or online at doctorsofhair.com.
Doctors of Hair.
Oh, hey, don't worry. Heidi with you too?
The Conti trot.
It's so cold
Go
out
try
there.
it. I think it's a trot.
I'm
What
putting
is it?
over and break.
The Conti trot. I think that's the name of the guitar.
What's the name of the guitar? Oh, okay. You know, YouTube has all these strange names on it.
Yeah, well,
How many guitars here?
And their technicians are so helpful.
Oh, but there were
Home
different
air is not
periods
a
of
sales pitch like at most
my
national
playing.
Heidi and Joe ready.
Call
Tell them the
technicians
whole-
So some of the trot.
But they have weddings to do, so I gotta get this. Tony, I got on the phone. I gotta get that done.
Yeah, fine.
So I'm gonna come back to you. I'm just gonna introduce who you are. I'm gonna take the call and then come back to you. Okay.
I mean, the Strat has a distinctive sound.
Tony, an hour show.
Look at the blues and stuff like that. That's it.
878-8367. That's 878-8367. Or online at homeairlv.com. Safety
There we go.
is a must. Call Danny at 878-8367
That's 878-8367 or online at homeairlv.com.
And we're back on the Las Vegas Rocks Radio Show. I'm your host, Ron Garrett, AM 670 KMZQ, on a good-looking Saturday evening right here in beautiful Las Vegas. Speaking with Paula Roth, Mr. Tony Pereira, our good buddy and co-host, Mr. Neil Portnoy, and Tom Hillary over there. We're going to hear from Tom about the series Yellowstone in just a little bit. But first, let me tell you about Tony, and then I've also got the capos over at Vegas Bob Weddings on the phone. Hang on, guys, just a minute while we talk a little bit about Tony Pereira. From Newark, New Jersey, yeah?
Originally.
Yeah, originally. And then when you left Newark, where'd you go? China, Japan, and Manila?
Oh yeah, well that was later years. When I lived in Tokyo, lived in Manila, lived in.
As a musician or as your business?
Part of the business when I was working for Accenture.
Okay, let's talk about Accenture. You worked with the state of Texas on the modernization of the Medicare program?
Yeah, well that was what. Yeah, so I guess maybe we go back, just take a step back.
I took you way back there for a second.
Well,
right?
yeah, it's more about what was the role. So the role was I ran our operations in North and South America. So that particular one was when we took over the Medicare in Texas. The current operation that they had was just not working. So we took it over and industrialized it.
And what's AJP LLC?
That's whenever I actually do any consulting.
That's your business?
Yeah, that's what I hide behind.
Well, you've worked with UPS, Unisys. You worked at UPS, Unisys, Price Waterhouse, and they say that you're a global citizen. I love that phrase.
Yeah, that actually came from my last boss. He's now he's the chief operating officer, Manish Sharma of Accenture, and he wrote that as I was leaving when I retired in 2017. He wrote that I was a global citizen. So the people that when you leave as a managing director, they give you this coach.
You retired?
Yeah.
You get a big pension?
You know how it is these days. It's all self-funded.
Yeah.
But back then, but when I was leaving, he wanted to make sure that everybody knew that I was one of those guys.
But what we know you from is being a terrific musician and guitar player.
Well, thank you. I'm glad. Can I get that in writing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's just been broadcast all over the
Yeah,
world.
I was going to say. So therefore, if it's out there and put it on Google,
it's
fact,
out there.
right?
That's right. It's fact. Or if it's on Instagram or one of those others, it's fact.
Yeah.
Fake facts.
Now, let me ask you a question. The guitar playing, you've been doing that your whole life, obviously.
1969.
So your whole life, because you were 4 back then or something. When did it progress to the level that you're at now where you said, you know what, I'm not going to sit in my room and play guitar. I'm going to extend my residency, we'll use that word again, and play with other people or let other people know of the talent that I have to be able to play the guitar?
So it really started in '69. So I've always, no matter what I've done, I've always been an active guitar player. So, and for some reason, some of these older musicians liked me, took me under their wings. I spent sitting next to 18 years to Lou Paulo, who was Les Paul's right-hand man. So I sat next to Lou for 18 years. Sal Salvador was one of my guitar teachers. Now I'm with Robert Conti. I take lessons today. I'm still taking lessons.
You take lessons and you give lessons.
Yeah, I take lessons, but I need that coach out there that when you go to play.
Well, I got a lesson for you right now that you can't refuse.
I gotta shut up because you're gonna talk to the
That's
couples.
right. I got a lesson you can't refuse right now. Let's bring them on. Who do we have? We got Joe or Heidi on the phone right now?
Both.
Both.
Hi, Ron. Hey, Ron.
Hello, Joe and Heidi Marino, the capos over at Vegas Mob Weddings. What's up with Vegas Mob Weddings?
Oh, same thing, just marrying people, keeping people happy, how that goes.
So if I go to contact you guys, what kind of services I'm going to get? What do you do to make it a mob wedding?
Well, go ahead. We have our special mob-themed ceremony that you can't get with anybody else since we copyrighted it.
Mm-hmm.
We have...
What does that consist of, Heidi, the mob-themed ceremony?
Oh, my gosh. You got all those oaths or vows that you have to take. You got to make some promises.
That you break later on in life, right?
Well, you do carry a shovel and a baseball bat in the trunk, right?
And a Tommy gun, yes.
There you go.
The Tommy gun does it every time.
Good.
How do we get a hold of you for Vegas Mob Weddings? If people want to get married, they got to do it the mob way.
That's right. They can call us at 702-813-1894, or they can visit VegasMobWeddings.com.
Okay. Any questions? Anybody want to get married by the mob?
No, I've done it enough already. I'm done.
Yeah. What about divorces? What about
Never enough.
Can you get divorced by the mob?
You can get remarried by the mob, right?
Well, a divorce by the mob is they shoot you in the back of the head. That's a mob divorce, right?
You end up in a barrel and like beef.
Is that what? That's what the shovels?
There you go.
We're going to have Joe and Heidi Marino on the show real soon, in the next couple of weeks, to talk more about the Vegas mob weddings. One more time, you guys, phone number and website.
702-813-1894. VegasMobWeddings.com. Sorry.
Okay, thank you for calling in. We'll have you on shortly. And right now, soon, in a couple of days, I appreciate it. Or in a couple of weeks, rather. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys.
You too, all of you.
Okay, I got a little cut here to go to break with. It's you, Tony. And it's, what's it called there? It's called,
Europa.
Europa. You and Keith Neal.
Breaker.
I was reminded.
Tough sound coming off YouTube.
Oh, well, yeah.
The sound is a little rough.
Absolutely.
So you're going to get a chance to cop out when we come back about the sound.
So when you were playing the Happy Days thing, they used to have Anson lip sync, like the second part of the theme of the main title. Anson's name is actually Anson William Heimlich. His relative and uncle or cousin, somebody was Dr. Heimlich, the guy who invented the Heimlich maneuver. My theory being you needed to listen to Anson sing.
His little studio that he does.
You want to stick with monotones for the 50 break?
That's basic.
That was the 40 break, so we're early.
It's a dip. He's got
That was we're in break 4, yeah. Yeah.
It
So let's go with Get the Love Boat Up.
doesn't mature. And so what happens is there's
And then
kids you
we
can't
go with
correct
the Unchained Melody.
There's no operations today
No,
that deal with that.
monotones.
I noticed it.
Okay, so bring up, like
I
I
just saw
said,
him recently.
Love
He's a good
Boat.
friend. I just noticed he seemed to be moving better.
Yeah,
Did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed it that night.
Monotones.
You know, he can't
Okay.
see.
Yeah, it's peripheral.
He can't see here. He can see shadows. But never mind the guitar playing, which doesn't look.
We'll have Estefano here in a second.
His handyman.
If he remembers to call it.
I know, his detail work is crazy.
So he builds things.
Yeah, his detail work is amazing.
Just a second. 14 seconds.
14. Okay.
How many eyes on we got? Eyes on.
8. Dropped off. It was higher earlier. Is there a ball game on?
Stop talking.
No. College
Notre Dame killed Boston College.
Oh, really?
Put 100 to nothing.
Here we go.
And we're back on the Las Vegas Rocks Radio Show. I'm your host, Ron Garrett, along with Neil Portnoy, our co-host, and our great guest today, Paula Roth and Tony Pereira, Mr. Tom Hillary. Hey, Tom.
Yes.
Real quick here. Let's talk
Yes,
about
Ron.
what do you got for me today?
What do I got? Well, I've been telling all my artist friends out there, you got to have a business head because you don't want to be sleeping out in the street waiting to sing your next gig. And I've been talking about like the downbeat stuff of people who've done things like that went wrong. Not that I'm talking about She-Hulk, but I decided this week what we ought to talk about is what's going right. And what's been going right lately is Yellowstone. Just got the word they're coming up on their 5th season. They get about 12 million viewers.
Actually,
first time
it
out.
started last Sunday, season 5.
Season 5, exactly. So that is extraordinary news. Now, what is Yellowstone about? What are they doing that's working out right? Well, they describe it as a neo-Western. It's about the famous Dutton family of Montana, presumably a mythical family, a rancher turned with a rough experience in life who's all of a sudden become elected governor. So what that tells us is that there is room for Westerns. Back here, people want to watch them.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tom, I'm watching it now.
See what I mean?
And I recorded all of it, all the seasons, and I'm binge watching at this point. And it's a neo, it's a Western, but it's not a Western. Western. It's a story. It's like Dynasty with
Very-
horse manure.
very
Is what it
similar
is.
concept, yeah.
Yeah, Dynasty with horse manure. That's what it is. And the acting is superb.
Beth.
Huh?
You gotta love Beth.
Beth is the daughter. And she is, I can't say it on the air what she is.
Yeah.
I can't say it.
She's spirited.
It's a family show, even though it rocks.
Very spirited. No family show. There's a lot of tough words in there, and it's a lot of activity. But it's a great show. So what's happening?
Well, what's interesting about when you start drilling down, apparently it's going over big in St. Louis, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh, but not so much in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York City. Now, they've noticed it's the coastal cities that don't seem to be tuning in. The inland cities are. So, what that tells me is that we've got to get more ideas from more places outside of our traditional incubators of Los Angeles and New York. So
I believe
start jumping in and making some movies.
I believe the reason why it's low in those cities is because people are accusing it of being a red state Western TV show. That's right.
That's an accusation.
That's right. That's what they're accusing it of, being a red state show, and those cities are not. They're blue cities. So I think maybe that might have something to do with it.
Same idea.
Same idea.
There we are.
We are. So right now we're going to talk. We got Estefano on the phone yet? No, not yet. All right. So let's switch back to Paula real quick.
Oh,
okay?
good.
And Paula, I want to play this. I want to play this for you. Go ahead.
Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you and love. Life's sweetest reward. Let it flow. It floats back to you.
Tell us a little bit about Love Boat, Paula.
I worked in the last season of Love Boat, which is a perfect example of what not to do when you're trying to save a show.
Tell us.
Well, first of all, they replaced Jack Jones. He didn't sing the theme.
That wasn't
for the
him,
last
was it?
season.
Was
No,
that him?
That was him.
Oh, good.
But they decided that he shouldn't sing the theme song.
But he's an icon, isn't he, Tony? An icon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they thought Dionne Warwick should sing the theme. So that was step one to making a big mistake. Now, the reason people would watch Love Boat was because it went places. So the first show of the final season was a show called A Day in Port, where the boat went nowhere. I wrote it, and I'm rather proud of that.
Why did you write that? Why did you do one that the boat went nowhere?
Because they paid me.
Very good reason.
That was why I felt I had an inspiration. There was a check, and I said, I got this. They brought 8 dancers on the show called the Mermaids. They married the captain off, and the person they married the captain to was Marion Ross from Happy Days, which was sweet. But there was no saving that show. It was over. But they wanted to get another year out of it. Interestingly enough, on most shows, if you've ever worked in television, we have what we call a production meeting. And at a production meeting, you discuss what costumes there'll be, where they're going to be, what the food is, et cetera, et cetera. Well, on Love Boat, we would hold 2 production meetings because the Aaron Spelling's partner was a man named Doug Kramer, very, very wealthy man. And at Doug Kramer's production meetings, he would say things like, and we'll have the caviar and the champagne. And then he would leave, and then we'd have the real meeting where we would have the ginger ale and the blueberry things that were to look like champagne. Love Boat was an interesting show because, as we put it, Aaron Spelling liked to hire the dead and the near dead. But what was extraordinary about these actors, Milton Berle is a perfect example. I won't go into what Milton was famous for, but I think we all know.
We all know.
Yeah, we know.
But that's not what I'm talking about. Milton would sit there in his little chair and wait to be called. And when he would sit in the chair, he was a little tiny old man dried up like a potato chip. And then they would say, Milton, we're ready for you. and suddenly he would become Milton Berle. It was really quite extraordinary working with these people. We had Andy Warhol on the show. Andy couldn't speak. He was so nervous. So they gave Andy an assistant who spoke for him because he was unable to talk. I loved working on the Love Boat.
It was a real boat, right? Did they shoot? Did they go out to sea? They shot the scenes out there.
They went to sea once a year on a real cruise.
On a real cruise.
Yeah, I wasn't paid enough. They didn't take me. Everything else was shot on a soundstage, including the Lido deck where the pool was.
Right.
And whenever anybody saw that the Lido deck was going to be shot on that day, people came from all over the set to see the nice-looking ladies in the bikinis.
Where was the boat docked or the soundstage? In Hollywood?
It was in Hollywood.
Was there a ship somewhere that was at a dock?
No.
No.
It
made it
was
all
all
up.
stock footage.
You ruined the image. You're
I'm
ruining
sorry,
the image.
But not only did they ruin the image, they ruined people's experience because people would watch Love Boat, then they'd book a cruise, and then they'd think that everybody on the cruise was going to look like the people on Love Boat.
Yeah, right, sure.
And instead they looked like you and me.
Paul,
very disappointing.
Do you have to include me in that?
I had to.
Okay.
I absolutely had to.
You sure about?
Paul, I do have a question because we talked a little bit off air about this.
By the way, Estefano's on the phone. I'm going to take him in
I'll
just
make
a
it
minute.
real quick. You talked about every good sitcom. You know, you could write the first episode, but what's most important is an end game. What's the end game?
Exactly.
In your opinion, and I have my own opinion on this, which is valid or not valid, what shows failed in their end game?
The ones I didn't work on.
That's great.
That's a pretty good answer, huh?
But speaking of failure, let's talk about success.
Sure.
And that's Estefano DiSanto.
Yes.
Steph.
Hello, Ron Garrett. Neil Portnoy, how are you gentlemen doing?
We're great. How are you?
Excellent.
Yeah, we're fine. Of course, say hello to Paula and say hello to Tony.
Hello, Paula. Hello, Tony. And hello, Mr. Tom Hillary.
There he is. Give us a rundown. What's next and what are you doing? Give me 30 to 40 a minute or so. Whatever.
Very well. Well, we just had the release party for the Lost 45s album, which is on Street Corner Entertainment Records. The
Stevie.
third record label is, well, that's right, with Mr. Stevie Dunham. And we just had the release party last Sunday at the Siena Trattoria. Of course, Ron, I said thank you to you in front of about 100, 125 people.
What did I do?
For helping me and my career. Oh, you gave me an opportunity to be on your show, and I appreciate it.
Oh,
again.
sure, okay.
Tom Hillary was there representing your show, and we had a great time. People got to hear some of the music. I had live instruments that evening to do the songs from the album. I showcased 4 songs from the album and then sang a little bit more, and we had a great time. And then last night, I was at the Sun City Aliante to a sold-out show, packed room, which was Icons, my vocal review. And then this coming Thanksgiving, the 26th, I'm making history by being the first vocalist, live vocalist that is, to ever perform in Frank Marino's shows as Lacage or Divas of Las Vegas.
Excellent.
I'm making a special appearance and I'm singing the Italian Christmas opera.
Are you appearing Are you appearing as yourself?
I certainly am appearing as myself.
Okay.
I am not. I have a voice. I don't have the face for female impersonation.
Yeah,
Thank God.
Frank Marino is beautiful when he dresses
Is
up
that
like
over at
that.
the Westgate? Is that at Westgate?
No, actually, Neil is going to be at the Italian American Club
Nice.
Friday, November 25th at 7 p.m. And from what I understand, there's about 50 tickets still remaining. So there's plenty of time for people to say, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and laugh off the holiday meal on the 25th.
That sounds
and then
great.
on November 29th, I'm at the Firelight Barn. I'm doing a special tribute to the United States military for their Christmas this year. I'm kicking off the campaign with a beautiful song representing America and the military at Christmas time, and how the men and women and our first responders go out there every single day and they work a holiday and they always get sacrificed 365 days a year. So I'm doing that with Mark Maynard. We're doing Estefano's Christmas and Frankie Valli in-house. And we've done some special arrangements of music and lyric changes to do a parody. So with Frankie Valli's Christmas. So we're going to have a great time.
Okay, that sounds great, Stefano. I appreciate it. We'll have you on the air here shortly. Coming into January, we're going to take a couple of weeks off in December. Otherwise, I'd have you back sooner. We're going to take off Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. You can't blame us for that, right? And we'll come back, and we'll have you back right after that. Thank you. Estefano DiSanto on the phone, one of the elite entertainers here in Las Vegas. We're going to go to break right now, and here's something that our buddy Stevie Dunham would like. Here's the, what is it, what are they called? The monotones. What a great name for an act, the monotones. Why would you want to call yourself the maybe Stevie can give us information about that. It's the Book of Love. The meaning of romance in chapter 4 I kept up. Give me one more chance.
When we go on the series, they would say, okay, then what's season 2?
Okay, guys, when we come back, it's our final segment. We're going to have approximately 7 minutes. Yeah, when we get back, and then my 2-minute outro. 7 minutes, so we're going to come back to you. You're going to run over. And no more breaks until the end of the show.
So quickly now we'll go.
You want, Paula, you have something you want to bring up specifically that I could ask you. You good?
I'm good.
You're fantastic.
I love it too. Talking about me.
I hope you're having fun. Tony, the future. We'll go to you on that, which is coming up now. Tom, talk about the movie clip. And Neil, of course, you got to do one. Okay?
You don't want me to do Thanksgiving?
I know. I'd like to talk about growing up.
About what?
Growing up in the Bronx.
Okay. We only have a few minutes, so that's probably a year-long
It's going to take a minute.
growing up in the Bronx.
How you drove the car. The great picture. No, she means the great story about the car and how she got a job.
You know Cliff Lawrence? Cliff Lawrence, the comedian, the Tony writer. I worked on the original boat, The Pacific Princess and the Sister Ship, The Island Princess. Well, that's not what the movie was shot, though, right?
No, he worked on his acting.
Tony Burton. Hey, Tony Burton is watching. Troy, rather, not Tony. Okay, so Milton was famous for the same thing I am. What was Milton famous for? Really?
iPhone. Yeah,
He had an iPhone. What'd you say?
Yeah,
He was famous for that?
Oh, yeah.
He showed it a lot.
Yes, he did. He would take it out at the drop of a zipper.
I didn't know that was the case.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that. They talk about that on Saturday Night
10 seconds.
Live.
Here we go.
10 seconds, and here we go. And
Better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
And we're back on the Las Vegas Rocks Radio Show. I'm your host, Ron Garrett, right here on AM 670 KMZQ. With us, Paula Roth and Tony Pereira, Neil Portnoy, Tom Hillary. And watching and listening is Patrick Frazee. Hello, Patrick. Janice Bovino is online with us. Diane Geritano, my cousin. Hey, Neil. Diane is shouting at you.
Hi, Diane.
Jerry Walker, my pal in Reno. He's on right now.
Mr. Insurance guy.
Yeah, Cliff Lawrence. He's watching and
Sorry,
listening.
I had no joke from it.
And Barbara Brighton, of course, my honey Tammy's out there. Troy Burton is out there as well. And Diane Davis. Hello, Diane. We're glad to have everybody here. Really good. You have a story, Paula, about growing up in the Bronx. A lot of people are from the Bronx, including Vinny and the Bronx One.
That's the thing about growing up in the Bronx. So much talent comes out of the Bronx. As you know, Penny Marshall is from the Bronx. She's the one who got me into the business. Robert Klein is from the Bronx.
My favorite
But the
comedian.
two who you don't realize are from the Bronx are two guys I went to school with. I went to school with a guy named Calvin Klein, who went on to do something in fashion. I don't remember.
I wear his underwear. Actually.
Then there was was another guy, little short,
Actually, no, I
chubby
don't.
Jewish guy, whose name was Ralph Lifshitz. And later in life, Ralph decided he was an English gentleman, and he changed his name to Ralph Lauren. Perhaps you've heard of him.
Ralph Lauren.
Yes.
How about that for classmates?
And those were the folks I went to school with. Oh, and Rob Reiner lived there for a short time.
Now, Rob Reiner, yeah, the son.
The son.
The son. I work with the dad.
I have one story about the dad. It was the year after my dad died, and I was at Rob and Penny's house. Rob was married to Penny Marshall back then, and he was on the phone with Carl. They were making family plans for Father's Day. And somehow it came up that my dad had died, and this was going to be the first Father's Day without my dad. And Carl Reiner heard this and said, "Oh, no, no. She will be with us. I will be her father, and we will all be together." And that speaks to the kind of person that Carl Reiner was.
Yep.
In 1970, I was hired by Dick Van Dyke to work at his radio station when I was a full-time DJ in Phoenix, Arizona. And at the same time, they asked me to come out to Carefree, Arizona, where they were making the new Dick Van Dyke Show with Hope Lang and Marty Brill. And they asked me, they say, "You're a funny guy. Come on out here. I want you to pump up the script." At the end of the script, they gave it to me to make it funnier. I'm not sure I was successful because at the end of the first season, we were all fired because it got no ratings.
Well, that's because we call it punching up.
Punching it up. That's
so
my job.
Pumping it up probably didn't help.
No, I punched it up, okay?
Oh, good. Okay.
Pumping it up is another phrase from my old days in the strip business, but this
You and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's right. I will pump you up.
Pump you up.
So I did meet Carl, worked with him for 6 months. We all did get fired. They hired a new cast. They decided after 2 seasons, they moved it back to L.A. because nobody wanted to come to Phoenix to shoot it at Carefree Studios, and he played a talk show host in Phoenix, Arizona. And that's my experience with that. That was 6 months.
Very
6 months.
nice. Very nice.
Wonderful
man,
person.
wasn't he?
But he still got fired. We got to have ratings, right?
Yeah.
Anything up next for you coming up in the future, Paula?
I thought I'd lie down after this.
That sounds like a good idea. Good idea. Speaking of lying down after this, Tony, what's up for you coming down the pike here?
So I'm going to sound like an out-of-work actor. I've got a project in the fire. So what I'm doing right now is actually, we just got back into town, and I'm working on some arrangements, and I'm pulling some top flight together, people like Lisa Gay, Dave Siegel, John Bell's a guy on bass, and Mike Candido on drums. We're just going to go into the studio and see what we can knock out and see if we got something out of that.
I like the.
Well, I never got to my mob sauce made from Rayo's jar sauce, but I will next time you're on the show. Okay?
No, thank you. Well, there's going to be a next time?
Next time.
You guys
There'll
get
be a
that?
next time. Yeah.
All right.
This is coming up on my my 4th anniversary. I might coming up my 3rd. No, I'll have you back because I want to do the recipe thing with you.
Oh, great.
Because
Rayo's good jar sauce.
Rayo's good jar sauce.
If you're going to do the jarred sauce, that's the one.
But you got to put some sausage in there. You got to do a little paste in the bottom before you start a little oil.
But they don't
You got to
call
punch it up.
They don't call it. They don't call it sauce. What do they call it?
They call
Gravy.
it gravy.
I call it sauce.
Yeah, it technically is a sauce.
It depends on which side of Italy you live on. I think
A lot of East Coast.
probably East Coast.
Like
Yeah.
when I growing up, they called it
We're
gravy.
going to have you back. We're going to talk about that.
Cool.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Neil, Wham.
Hey, real quickly, Wham is coming up. Can't not believe that we're in our 12th Wham, and it started with Let's Try This and live entertainment at the gallery. We have a huge show coming up December 13th from 6 till 9. We're going to be inducting 6 more members to the now world-famous Portnoy.
Can you tell us who they are, Neil?
I don't know who they are.
Just use my cousins from Florida.
yeah,
Just run those names.
You guys
by
are
them.
going to be on the wall of honor.
Yeah, that's right.
I
Just
know
say-
that Ashley Fuller and Aaron Fuller will be inducted because they are performing. It's going to be a monster Christmas on the 13th of December from 6 to 9. Entry fee to get in. Tyler Robinson Foundation, again, will be our charitable contributor. Donations to them, portion of the proceeds. Get to view Portnoy Gallery with the artwork. Vegas Valley Winery will be pouring the wine every second Tuesday of the month. In fact, we are now booked in 2023 through June.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Great support.
You could do better business than some of the shows on the Strip right now.
Well, we have very few tickets left after the events. Yeah, so it's
Tough to sell tickets on the Strip these days, right, Tony?
Oh, yeah. Also, you're giving them away. Right?
That's right, they are. Paula, you're familiar with house seats, right?
Very.
Are you on house seats? You go to shows?
Absolutely not.
I'm glad to
I
hear
paid
that.
full price.
That's right.
Except for Adele.
I got to also mention. I could also mention Paula is very involved with the Mark O'Toole variety show Backstage.
Mark is amazing.
Mark's amazing, and he's amazing, and even better than amazing because of that woman over there to my
He's
right.
on next week.
Yeah, I've been stage managing for him when I'm in town.
You're doing a great job.
Mostly I'm not in town.
That's good news too. Tom, what's going on
Yes.
with Honey Trap? You got a preview out right now?
Yeah, the Honey Trap trailer is here. A beautiful redhead Russian spy engaged in corporate espionage. Go to my Facebook page, Tom Hillary, Hillery, because if you just type in Honey Trap, you may end up with a Chinese honey trap girl who's busy engaged in government espionage named Fang Fang. No, you want Inosenko Danova.
Who was the one that was with Congress? Ping Pong? What was her name?
Yeah, Fang Fang.
Oh, Fang Fang. I thought it was Ping
So
Pong.
it's going to be a little tough if you just type it into a search box.
Name
Go
that-
to,
name
go to
that-
Tom Hillary on Facebook, and you'll see it right there.
Yeah, she was named after the restaurant over at Gold Coast. You know, Ping Pang Pong. Something like that.
She sinks her teeth in you.
What's that?
We're all going to get fired.
No, we're not. No. It's his movie. He's the one who gets fired.
Jesus, I got to learn another language. First it was German, now I got to learn Chinese. I'm not going to work.
That's right. It's his movie. You know, he's got all these movies out now. The producer over there.
Yeah.
But no one else is producing movies. He's got real ones. You know, everybody's a movie producer. He actually does it. There's a difference. Thank you all for watching and listening to the Las Vegas Rocks Radio Show. Paula Roth, thank you so much.
It's been so much fun.
I got to have you back
enjoyed
real soon. There's more stories that we haven't
I'm
heard yet.
available, you know.
You are. Okay, we're going to have you back.
In between travels.
You know, what do we really want to know about some of those shows, you know?
She's got the stories.
Okay, I want to know who was gay and all that stuff. We'll find out at the next visit. Okay? Tony, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
you on the air, and good to see you the other night. It was at the Bronx Wanderers.
It was.
It was. And Tony says, hey, you can put me back on. I said, absolutely, this week. And we took care of it. But I never got to talk about my sauce, but we'll do that next visit.
Shameless begging.
Shameless begging. You're a great guest. I love having you on. But you're a great guest, too, Paula. What a wonderful show we've had. Neil, wrap it up.
You know what? We're in, our third year? You're in your third year?
The third anniversary in January, yes.
And I'm coming up quickly on a year of
On a
being
year.
the co-host and having the time of my life
I
every
appreciate
Saturday
that.
doing this.
Remember, everybody, our mission right here in the Las Vegas Rocks Radio Show is to motivate, support, and encourage all local Las Vegas entertainers. The folks who work in the showrooms, lounges, show bars, supper clubs, comedy clubs, and also all the spaghetti circuit Italian restaurants that they're all at. Thank God for those. We like people on the show, whether you're famous or not. That's our motto here. It doesn't matter. As long as you're in Vegas, a local entertainer, you've got something to say. You're always welcome. I've been in Vegas over 50 years now, from the mob to the corporations. It was great then, and it's still great now. 50 years, even greater. Thank you all for the opportunity to be on the air in Las Vegas, Nevada, the greatest town around. I'm Ron Garrett, and good night.
Live from the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa Studio of the world-famous Las Vegas Strip.
Goodbye, everybody on Facebook Live. Thank you all for being there. We appreciate it. The show will be posted for you to see in just a few minutes. Good night.